Straight ahead on 12 News, the impact of the presidential election on the local vote and why your vote really does matter. Plus, a powerful message at a Plymouth intersection.
Hopefully her message, her story could be an inspiration to somebody to have a future.
And later, how businesses are changing with the times at the shops at Arbor Lakes. 12 News starts right now. Hello, everyone, and thanks for joining us. I'm Mike Johnson.
And I'm Alexandra Renslow. We are just 1 month away from the November election, and some would say this is one of the most heated, controversial presidential elections ever.
So how is that discord impacting the local vote? We get more from 12 News reporter Sonia Goins.
Last night's debate was quite ugly, and there are a lot of Americans who are waking up this morning shaking their heads. And some are saying they may not even vote.
Political analyst Larry Jacobs says the backlash could impact state and local races, especially tight races like U.S. Representative District 3, where Republican Eric Paulson is going up against Democrat Terry Bonoff.
Eric Paulson is walking a tightrope. On the one hand, he wants to distance himself from Donald Trump because of Trump's explosive comments about women. Obviously, Terry Bonoff is going to feast on Mr. Paulson's challenge and how to handle Donald Trump.
Some folks say they're going to skip the polls altogether, but political experts say there's more at stake than the presidential election.
There are actually over 100 judges on the ballot. There's over 200 legislators on the ballot.
Anika Robbins is with the group Black Votes Matter Minnesota. The group's goal is to increase voter turnout amongst historically underrepresented communities in Minnesota.
The biggest impact comes with the local elections. So your city council officials, your county commissioners, the mayor, these are all the offices that have a direct impact on our lives.
Local officials make decisions on schools, bonding bills, the environment, and more.
It's important for you to participate. Saying that you're not going to vote is basically a vote opposing yourself. Oftentimes what we see is people making decisions for us that impact us without us.
And then in the general election, you do not have to stay within party lines. People can vote for whomever they choose. Voters can also write in a candidate. And Mike and Alex, for more information on the local candidates, people can head to our website, 12.tv.
All right, thank you,
Thanks, Sonia.
Early voting in Minnesota is off to a record start. So far, election officials have distributed more than 150,000 absentee ballots. That's up from roughly 51,000 absentee ballots dispersed by this point in 2014. Now, keep in mind, vote totals cannot be compiled until after the polls close on November 8th. Last February, motorists in Plymouth witnessed a horrifying scene at a busy intersection.
28-year-old Tricia Nelson died after her boyfriend shot her and then ran over her with his car. As Delane Cleveland reports, Nelson's family members are now working to help other women involved in abusive relationships.
If an intersection could talk, it would likely tell stories of traffic jams and fender benders. But this group made their way to Northwest Boulevard and Rockford Road Sunday night to remember the darkest chapter in the intersection's history.
We're honoring the life of Tricia Nelson, who was murdered at the intersection of Northwest Boulevard and Rockford Road on the weekend of Valentine's Day this year.
Don Strumman helped organize this domestic violence vigil in partnership with Mount Olivet Lutheran Church of Plymouth and St. Joseph the Worker in Maple Grove.
It's a powerful message because we know that 1 out of 4 homes are domestically abusive. In any economic status, in any racial status, that's what we have. But we live in denial about that. You know, we don't want to believe that that's true.
The truth of domestic abuse is all too real for Tanya Furry. It was her sister who was killed at the Plymouth intersection on that cold February night.
What my hope is for other people to see what happened in my sister's relationship, recognize early warning signs in theirs, and realize it really can happen to them.
Spreading that message has become her goal in the days and months since her sister's murder.
He had to be the one to decide where they would eat,
where they would go.
The hope is that by being front and center at a service like this, other families can learn and perhaps be spared of the pain she's suffered.
You can't change the past, but hopefully her message, her story could be an inspiration to somebody to have a future.
Christians believe in the idea of death and resurrection. And with Trisha's death at the hands of her boyfriend, maybe someone, somewhere can resurrect their life.
Hopefully her story can be a message of strength and healing to somebody else to recognize those signs and know that they deserve better.
In Plymouth, Delane Cleveland, 12 News.
Meanwhile, authorities continue to investigate the death of a construction worker in Plymouth. 56-year-old Larry Secord of Zimmerman was found dead late Friday afternoon by fellow workers at a home under construction in the 5100 block of Terrace View Lane North. According to the Hennepin County Medical Examiner, Secord died of head and chest injuries suffered in a construction accident.
The shoulder along Highway 610 is a little cleaner. That's thanks to a group of immigrants from Ghana in West Africa. Dozens of members of the Asante Association of Minnesota turned out on Saturday to pick up trash along the freeway. They have adopted part of 610 as a way to give something back to their newly adopted country and hope other immigrants will do likewise.
Well, we also want to encourage other countries also, people who are here to also, look up to us, because there's so much that they too can contribute to this country, because now this is where we are from.
This group also organizes college prep tutorials for immigrant students and teaches older workers computer skills. Brooklyn Center Police went to extra heights to raise money and awareness for Special Olympics this weekend. The Cop on Top event had officers on the roof at Cub Foods in Brooklyn Center to greet customers and urge them to donate to Special Olympics.
They inspire us. It's a great way to give back to the community and work with the community and just let the community know that, hey, athletes are here and they want to be part of society.
And if you missed this event for Special Olympics, there's another fundraiser in early 2017 when the cops take part in the Polar Plunge. Coming up, new businesses set up shop at the shops at Arbor Lakes.
And then later in sports, Hopkins and Wayzata trade touchdowns in a close football battle.
But first, a chance for rain on Tuesday. As the fall ushers in a change of colors, it also signals the start of a big retail shopping season.
In this week's Business Matters, a look at new businesses moving in and what's changing at the shops in Maple Grove.
It's going to be a little bit warm.
The latest business at the shops at Arbor Lakes is a Minnesota first.
Go ahead and take a nice deep breath.
With more than 70 different spa services,
This is called the Minkiti facial.
the Woodhouse Day Spa invites customers to experience a vacation from the daily grind without boarding a plane.
The Woodhouse Day Spa is a luxury day spa that you would find like at a resort or on an island right in your backyard.
From a signature facial that includes elements of massage and hand-harvested seaweed from Ireland,
What this is doing, it's kind of an anti-aging, detoxifying, hydrating facial.
to pedicures and other nail services, this location at the shops felt like the right fit for spa owner Amy Adams.
We are in good company in terms of where our guests already like to shop, where they like to dine.
The Woodhouse Day Spa might be the newest addition, but it isn't the only one.
As of right now, we have H&M under construction. So that will be a big tenant that we'll be adding to the center. There'll be about 18,000 square feet.
This spring, Swedish-based clothing retailer H&M will occupy 3 spaces in the shopping center, just as some other retailers leave or opt for smaller spaces in an era of online competition.
As time and the economy has changed, a lot of tenants now, maybe before they were looking for 6,000 square feet, and now they're maybe looking for 4,000 square feet.
13 years after the shops opened, the occupancy rate is at 94%. For owners, filling the open spaces requires constant adjusting to what retailers want. For Woodhouse Spa, the chance to completely renovate its space and reach the right customer base provided the perfect combination.
We're challenging ourselves to bring that guest experience to a new level day after day after day.
Coming up, a prestigious honor for an Osseo theater.
But first, a look back at the big prep football match between Totino-Grace and Champlin Park. John Jacobson is in next.
Champlin Park's football team was riding a 4-game winning streak heading into their game with Totino-Grace. The Eagles came in unbeaten and the top-ranked team in Class 6A. Highlights from this game at Totino-Grace with the Rebels gunning for an upset. And here's the opening kickoff of the game. Grace's Gayflor Flomo off and running right from the start. Straight ahead, he'll take this one back 94 yards for a touchdown. Totino-Grace leads 7-0, just 14 seconds into the game. After the Rebels go 3 and out on their first series, the Eagles offense puts another score on the board. Brady Bertram with an 18-yard touchdown run. Extra point not good, it's 13-0. Later in the first quarter, Champlin Park comes back with a solid drive. Ernest Warlow in for a yard out for a touchdown, and it's 13-7 after a quarter. Same score, second quarter. Rebels quarterback Bennett Otto under a rush. He'll throw an interception. Charlie Waters with the pick. He'll bring this back 43 yards down to the Champlin Park 30-yard line before he's stopped, and it'll set up another touchdown for Kez Flomo. This time on a fourth down play from 2 yards out. He had 3 rushing touchdowns plus that kickoff return. 21-7 Grace at halftime. Early third quarter, Kyle Halverson to Joe Russell, 44 yards in this pass play. Totino-Grace wins 42-21, and the Eagles are now 6-0. Wayzata and Hopkins have both had their ups and downs on the football field this fall. The two old Lake Conference rivals were matched up in a West Metro South District game. Hopkins will start the scoring. Jaden Washington, nice gap to run through, and he goes 62 yards for a touchdown run here, and the Royals will take a 7-0 lead on Wayzata. Trojans will respond late in the first quarter. Gavin Baumgartner to Brandon Bluford. He'll break a couple of tackles and get to the end zone on a 35-yard scoring play. That makes it 7-7. Less than a minute later, Hopkins' pass here will bounce off the receiver and right to Wayzata's Luke Cranny. He'll go back the other way. It's a good block late in the return, and he gives Wayzata a 14-7 lead. Trojans defense will come up with another turnover. Jacob Benega picks off this pass. That enables Wayzata to hold that 14-7 lead into halftime. Third quarter, Hopkins gets the equalizer. Morgan Holmes goes deep down the sideline to Malik Lofton for the touchdown, and it's 14-14 after 3 quarters. Hopkins will take the lead back with a defensive score of their own. A hard hit forces a Wayzata fumble. Matthias Harris scoops up the loose ball, and he takes off and scores. Touchdown for Hopkins. They'll miss the extra point, and it's 20-14. That miss proves to be a big one. Wayzata Alec Underhill will score from 2 yards out late. The Trojans convert their extra point, and they pull out a thriller, 21-20. Moving away from a Friday night, at least for this year, Osseo played its homecoming game on Saturday afternoon. Big crowd at Carlton Field as the Orioles hosted Centennial. And Blake long for Osseo to score against the Cougars. Martellus Hughes, great throw to Karan Harmon, 33 yards and a touchdown, 7-0 Orioles early in the first quarter. Centennial counters with a couple of short touchdown runs in the first quarter. This one by Riley Treadle puts the Cougars up 14-7 after 1. Second quarter, Centennial looking for more offense. They'll try a halfback option pass here. Tyler Seelock, though, will pick off the ball in the end zone and return this one back out to the Orioles' 31-yard line. And that turnover leads to an Osseo score. Gregory Arell will roll out. He'll find Harmon in the front part of the end zone for another score. Ties the game at 14. That's the score at halftime. Osseo went up 17-14 in the third quarter, but then Centennial takes the lead for good on Deontay Book's 24-yard touchdown run. That made it 21-17, and the Cougars go on to win 35-23. Maple Grove scored a big win on the road. They beat Minnetonka 45-14. Brad Davison threw for 3 first-half touchdowns and ran for another. And Cooper stays unbeaten. The Hawks are now 6-0 after beating De La Salle 55-7. C.J. Adams and Nate Hill scored 2 touchdowns apiece for the Hawks. And that's it for sports.
Okay, thanks a lot, John. In Local Vote 2016, voters in Crystal will be deciding between two candidates for mayor. Both have experience in the job.
Now, the question is whether to re-elect Jim Adams, who is the incumbent, or bring back former Mayor Renee Bowman, who served 2 terms in that job.
Renee Bowman here, running for mayor of Crystal. 2 things voters need to know about me. I support building the Blue Line light rail, and I am a strong financial leader. As Crystal's mayor from 2005 through 2012, the city remained debt-free, budgets balanced, service levels remained the same, and money was put away to strengthen finances and keep taxes and utility increases low. Crystal is currently asking for a tax increase of 8 to 13% for 2017. This is wrong. Now is the time for strong financial leadership. To ensure a brighter future, vote for Renee Bowman for Crystal's next mayor. Go to www.mayorbowman.org for more information.
Hi, I'm Jim Adams, Mayor of Crystal. It's been a privilege to serve you as mayor for the past 4 years. Our city has made tremendous progress in the areas of fiscal responsibility, customer service, and providing government from the citizen's perspective. In the last 4 years, we've made financial decisions that have saved Crystal taxpayers over $1 million in unnecessary finance expenses, and have instituted many new ideas to make our city more responsive, transparent, and welcoming to everyone. And there's still more to do. I need your help to keep Crystal moving forward. And that's why I'm asking for your vote in November. To learn more, please visit my website at reelectjimadams.com or call me at 612-805-5101. Thank you.
Still ahead, a small-town theater with a really big award.
We will be right back.
Finally, a big honor for the Yellow Tree Theater in Osseo.
The National Theater Company, which founded the Tony Awards, is honoring Yellow Tree with a $10,000 grant.
It's a pretty big deal for us. You know, we're in Osseo. We're not even in the big Twin Cities. So the fact that they're recognizing the quality of our work is really exciting, and it you know, just sort of reiterates to our community that we're serious about quality, and we're serious about being a professional theater and being on par with all the other theaters in town.
The tiny 120-seat theater will benefit greatly from the grant. That's because there is only so much money that can be generated through ticket sales.
Now we're getting to that point where people are recognizing the quality and wanting to come work for us, wanting to come to the play. But it's an uphill battle to convince people that, yes, you should come to Osseo and do work. Yes, you should come and see our plays here.
The Yellow Tree is one of just 7 theaters across the U.S. to receive the grant, and they're not even 10 years old yet. Quite a big honor for that. Do some great work over there.
They do.
That's all for us. Thanks so much for joining us.
And we will see you back here again Tuesday, starting at 4.